I can only imagine what it will be like to see it on 4DX because I've experienced the whole 4DX cinema.
Me too, it's been
and
cool.
It's incredible.
Watch Beauty and the Beast and that. Well, you know what, it's now that time of the morning for us to turn our attention to our family, and Nikki Bush joins us in studio to share some of the knowledge on the benefits of play during your child's early development.
Dominant research shows that early learning should be based on discovery through play. And it doesn't have to be stressful. It should, in fact, be fun. And this morning, our creative parenting expert, Nikki Bush, is in the house to show us what a good educational toy looks like and what a child can learn through play. I love that, because I love to play. And I remember playing a lot as a child. What is it about play that makes it such an effective learning tool? Why is it so vital?
When children are unstressed, when they're relaxed, when they're having fun, their brains are most open to learning and to discovery. And so, you know, the myth is that all learning comes out of books and happens at school, and this is actually not the truth. There is a lot to be learnt at school through the formal curriculum, but there's an enormous amount that children learn that create the foundations for academic learning through play.
Why have we as parents forgotten this? We ourselves have learned through play and enjoy life through play. Why did we disconnect?
We've become so busy and so serious and time-starved, time-bound, that we've forgotten that we're actually naturally wired to play. We're naturally wired to have fun. And today, playing with your children and having fun has almost become a conscious effort. We've got to switch the button on, which is quite sad, really.
It should be our default.
It should, it should.
You've brought with, I said you were going to bring us an example of what a really good play educational toy looks like. I'm looking at something that looks amazing. I'm learning just looking at it now. But talk us through what you've got here on the table.
So the reason I've brought this product here, and it's a beautiful wooden product, and it's called the Pyramid of Play, is because many parents don't actually know what a good educational toy looks like. And for me, a really good educational toy is something that a child interacts with. It doesn't do for the child does with it. The child discovers through play, and it's multi-purpose. There are many things you can do with this product, and it will last from around probably 18 months of age through to about 4 or 5 years of age, if you know what to do with it.
Those learning and reading skills as
Absolutely.
well. Yeah.
So obviously here we've got wooden building blocks, and they go in different sizes. We've got to get them in the right order in order for them to fit together. And initially, a little child is just going to actually bash this down. You will build, they will bash it down. We're talking about incidental learning here. So a 3-year-old who's playing with this doesn't understand that's the number 5, but they're seeing it with their eyes. Whatever the eyes see, it creates a motor copy in the brain. And when they start counting, so you ask them, show me 2 fingers, they will remember that there's a 2 somewhere on here, or a 3, or how many fingers on your hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, there's a number 5, and they're also reading it even though they're not reading it. Wow. It's incidental reading. And then with counting, we count objects, just as we can count these shapes over here. So we've got 4 ducks, give me 4 shapes. And here, for example, we have shapes, and these shapes get sorted and pushed through the hole. So we've got to match the shape to the hole in the box. So this is one-to-one correspondence. It's matching.
And there's colour.
Fine motor coordination. 3D. So feel that. It's different to when you're on a screen. So on that tablet, you are swiping on a flat surface. You can't work out what the sides feel like, that they're flat, they're round.
What's a square? What's an edge?
Exactly. Children need a multi-sensory physical experience of their world to understand their world.
And I would imagine then that the learning techniques out of this and how you can use this tool just gets exponentially greater. There are just so many.
Hugely here. So there's Play-Doh. And we take our little star and we create an impression in our Play-Doh. So how you can extend an educational toy, it's endless.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. The big lesson here is getting a child not to eat the Play-Doh, but of course we know that you can make edible Play-Doh now as well.
This is true.
So absolutely amazing. Oh, thank you so much. I can't wait to delve a little deeper into how our child can benefit from this. But I'm thinking there's also an opportunity here for you to connect and enjoy a little bit of quality time with your child through this process. Maybe learn a few new things like me this morning as well through that process. So please make sure that you take the time to identify those ideal toys that are going to help your child learn through play.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So earlier we spoke about the importance of play through discovery. Now, continuing that conversation with our regular creative parenting expert, Nikki Bush, a big question that's now come to me is where this meets our school curriculum. I'm talking early school curriculum, like your play school and going into grade 1, where your toys are very much the medium for learning. There needs to be surely a certain level of readiness to enter into now a social environment. You've got a teacher now picking up that learning process. Talk to me about play readiness going into school.
So school readiness is a journey that takes 6 years. From birth to the time your child goes into grade 1, that's a 6-year journey. Sure. Unfortunately, for many children in our country, they don't have the luxury of playing with just a bag of wooden building blocks, which can teach so much in terms of school readiness, the perceptual skills for school readiness, of which there are about 30 different skills.
Sure.
And children learn them incidentally through play. We're not sitting here with a 3 or 4-year-old going, now we're going to learn about bigger than and smaller than. Now we're going to learn about numeracy and literacy. We don't do that. We actually just interact with the child and get the child to interact with the game, with the toy, to discover for themselves. We give them the vocab as we go along. Like now, right now we can say, can you find us the littlest block? And they have to find us the littlest block. And here you can actually take these and start creating doing the nesting thing, like you would do with plastic beacons.
Russian dolls.
Okay, like the Russian dolls. So children are learning how to get things into the right order. We might say something like, where is the star? And you've now hidden it.
Yeah.
It's behind the tower. Where is the rectangle? It's in front of the tower. This is mathematical language. Okay. Where's the Play-Doh? It's on top of the box. And then we might hide something inside the box. So where's the Play-Doh gone now? Okay. Now children have to remember, where did Dad put the Play-Doh? Where did Mum put the Play-Doh? And then all the problem solving that comes with...
These become part of those 30 things that you need to know. Those
Absolutely, and they've got long names,
yeah.
and people can find that on my website. But all of this is spatial planning and problem solving, of finding the right shape, matching it to the hole, and putting it inside.
How to develop OCD in your child. I love that. Now, obviously, we've got a fantastic toy here, but you mentioned that, and this is the reality. Certainly in South Africa, not many parents have the resources to go out and buy these toys. What will we have around the house that we can possibly use as great educational toys?
So earlier we were talking about squirreling and doing this fine motor coordination with these beans. So sugar beans are fantastic. So those can be used for fine motor coordination, also for sorting and matching. So if I said, Graham, can you separate these into a group of white and brown beans? You could do that.
Yeah.
So that's working out similarities and differences, which is going to be important when you learn about letters, similarities and differences. Can you tell the difference between a p and a b? That's the kind of activity that will help you with that exercise. We can do counting groups. Can you make me a group of 1? Can you make me a group of 2? Can you make me a group of 3? In the same way as we had the numbers in the right order over here. So we can do it here. How about with pegs from your washing line?
Yeah.
That fine motor coordination activity here, you do it with the pegs, the same 3 fingers that will form the tripod grip for holding a crayon or a pencil later on. A tissue box, if you don't have this kind of thing, you can have a tissue box, and children can put things into the tissue box, and they can shake them and get them out. So boxes and tissues, just pulling tissues apart, which children love to do when they're about 9 to 18 months of age, is rip things apart.
Just destroy it.
That's actually exercising exactly what we're talking about, the eyes, the hands, the fingers, for reading and writing later on.
And I'll tell you something, as a parent or an adult, you know, Play-Doh also makes a handy stress ball. Some press stick there is brilliant.
And you can make that by yourself with oil, water, and flour. That recipe you'll also find on nickybush.com.
Oh, this has been huge. I've been trying to absorb it as much as I possibly can. But I think the bottom line is here, play can be a learning experience, but it's a great way to get your child ready for the big wide world out there, get their school readiness up to par just by doing what they love, and that's having a little fun playing.